Hi, welcome back. And Paraj here from Digital Tech Engineering Private Limited, and we are into holistic solutions to MSME, uh, right from investment banking, corporate governance, technology solutions, and market access and branding as far as the business expansion is concerned. So as usual, so sometimes we are covering most of the topics for MSME owners so that they can become knowledgeable and they can prepare themselves. And the later stage, they should not face any problem when it comes to scalability, and or later stage they will face, they will come across some of the real hurdles in their business growth, and wherein sometimes they have to pay hefty amount to sort it out, or sometimes they have to close because of the serious offenses that has happened without the notice of the business owner. So considering all these things now, the important topic called as GRC, what we are bringing you, so that you should know, the reason being is because of the digitization. Now the government is tracking and monitoring every small aspects also. So that is really going to help you, and government definitely is there to help you when you are compliant about a lot of factors that comes in, right? So GRC is all about that. You should know about it so that in the later stage you should not be facing any problem, as I already said. So let's begin the small conversation for you so that you understand what is this GRC is all about. So I'm having conversation with Mr. Das. Let's begin. Yeah. So the context is, again, I wanted to share you is, so I'm just rephrasing whatever we discussed so that the context is very important for our association.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, so the digitalize, as I already mentioned, we are giving holistic solutions to MSMEs mainly. Okay, so when it comes to holistic, now there are four things which we are giving. As one is technology, second one is corporate governance, third one is investment banking, the fourth one is the expertship and the market access. Okay, so these are the
Sorry,
four.
what is the fourth one?
Sorry,
what was the fourth one?
Fourth one is market access and industrial expertise. Okay, so now this is the bigger umbrella, and your services perfectly fits into digitalize solutions, holistic solutions. That's why we are talking today. Okay, so now since we had a good good discussion over the phone, and we believe now there is something new initiative which you already taken up and related to GRC, right? So, which I think it sounded great to me, because I think our MSME industry folks should know about this. And I thought of just creating this Zoom call with you, so that this is going to be very short. I don't, I mean, these questions, whatever I have phrased for you, is going to be very short answers I would expect, and think that they will give the perspective. And when the actual webinar happens, probably you are going to take through your PPTs and make them understand the each steps and all that wherever they need to do. Okay, it is like a promo for the MSME owners or anybody for that matter. So within few minutes we are going to close this discussion, so that at least they will give the perspective of like, chat, what is the importance of this, some think what basic steps they need to take, and that should prompt them to attend this webinar going forward. That is the context of this call.
Okay, please.
So Ashish ji, then shall we just have a so can I ask you the questions to the point?
Please.
Okay, now when I had a discussion with you, the fundamental question you introduced about GRC, for me, I come from the IT background. For me, it's a Greek and Latin word. But even I believe today, MSME owners also may not be aware of this new things, right? So I just want you to, if you can just spare 1 or 2 minutes and share about what is this GRC is all about, so that our MSME owners can understand this.
Okay. As we all are aware that starting a business and running a business is basically a risk which either individual or a group of people undertake. And obviously, so therefore, since they are undertaking this risk, the fruits of the risk which they are taking comes back in the share in the form of profit from the market or market share, as you put. Now, in this journey of MSME or established business, we need to keep acclimatizing ourselves as per the prevailing scenario. Otherwise, we will not be able to survive. Now, if you look at if you look at things, say around 25 years ago, and the present scenario, or 30 years ago and the present scenario, there's been a remarkable change which has happened vis-a-vis the governance part of things. When I say this particular governance, I mean from the government's point of view. The way government is operating, say 30 years ago, and the way government is operating now, there's been some remarkable changes. For example, earlier we had around, as I have mentioned in my PPT also, more than 3,000 odd laws which were to be complied with by the businesses, which basically means a substantial amount of time, energy goes into trying to, comply with them. If you don't comply with them, the consequences are financial as well as prosecution, both depending upon the situation. Now, what this government has done in the last couple of years, they have actually repealed around 1,200 laws, which were of no use. So and the other thing which they have done is they have compiled the laws and the relevant provisions are there. Third thing, instead of making, so most of the earlier provisions used to be on, penalty. Used to be provisions wherein you could be put behind bars, prosecution would be, undertaken. What they are doing is, understandably, most of these provisions are now being made penal, which basically means don't violate. If you violate, you will have to pay an amount. Now, the other situation out here is that that amount, even in the Companies Act, the earlier provisions, if you do a comparison between the earlier penalties which were there in the Companies Act and the present penalties, it has skyrocketed. If you miss one deadline, you have to pay anywhere between 5,000 rupees upwards. No business wants this. What are they trying to? Plus, the other way around is they've gone digitized. So, what are these indications? These indications are that the business needs to be compliant. Okay, this takes care of the compliance part. Now, let me go one step back. And I said when we started off that business, whenever it starts, is a risk. So obviously we got to manage that risk, mitigate it. So there are some formulas for coming to a conclusion vis-a-vis the risk. There are various, tools which are available for mitigating or managing that risk. And thirdly, all of this is being managed by the board or the businessman and his counselors, whoever is, advising him. Now that is, but they need to have the information on a very, handy basis. It can't possibly be, I have overlooked some information which may become critical at a later point of time, but I have already taken the wrong decision by then. So governance is this. So I started with compliance, then I went to risk, and now I concluded with governance, and I'm trying to put it as briefly as possible. I'll try to compress it and put it in the right order, since this is an impromptu, question answer session.
Okay, fantastic. I think, Mr. Das, I think we would like to know, I think our MSME owners really want to know about you. If you can just share about your experience and what all the things you have done so far when it comes to specific GRC and about your profile, so that it will be helpful for them to understand the authenticity and the authority of this conversation, what is happening now.
With pleasure. So I am a lawyer by profession, and I have around 2.5 decades of working experience. once I passed out, 97 was a time wherein training rules were made mandatory. And I have been blessed with excellent seniors who would give the file and say, this is the file, you take care of the file. Initial 5 years, I did hardcore litigation. And then under guidance from my senior himself, I moved on to the corporate side. Again, like I said, I've been blessed with being associated with, very good companies. I've been blessed with I started off with the manufacturing unit. I was with DCM, then I joined Tata's, then I was with eBay, then I was with Vodafone. So if you look at the, type of companies, I've been top-notch Indian companies which operate on a pan-India basis. I've been with, global companies, which for them geographical restriction is not an issue. And I've worked in not just manufacturing, but also the service sectors. Having said that, if you want to, the various sectors which I have covered in this journey, I would say manufacturing, service, healthcare, a bit of technology, because anyway, that's what I was doing. Then your property, which is the RERA compliance part of things. So it's been quite a journey. And or organized retail, I would also add that. That was a very adventurous. From a qualification point of view, yes, obviously LLB have done. And I've also been, I have the advantage of calling myself, in fact, proud of being calling myself, I am an alumni of IIM Calcutta. And I also hold Lean Six Sigma black belt. And to add to those cherries, I've done my PG diploma in industrial law, tax law, cyber law. So I've kept myself busy.
Okay, wonderful. Nice to know about it. And that comes to another question for me to be specific to, our focus is on MSME owners, right? Industry. So now, if you can just say very briefly now, why MSME or any startup should know about this GRC?
Okay, sure. So you see, whenever since I've been associated with startup for the last 5-6 years. Earlier, I was on the other side of the table, and now I'm this side of the table. So number one is I've seen both sides of the table, which basically gives a better purview of how things work. Now that I'm this side of the table, I realize that any startup, for them, there are a couple of very basic thumb rules. The first of them being that they need to be very, financially disciplined. They need to be disciplined to the extent of the project and the way they operate. Because that is what is going to be beneficial for them in the long run. Forget the long run, even in the middle. When they go for funding, that is the time they, people are saying, oh my God, we don't have a project report. We don't have details of, when people are asking, don't have the regular. Then they engage somebody to make those documentations. So instead of doing it at that point of time, it's like every day if you put 10 rupees in a piggy bank, that's what we used to do when we were kids. At the end of it, at the end of the month, you already have a good amount in your piggy bank. You don't need to have that problem. So this discipline criteria. Secondly, since if you are disciplined, it also helps in your other situations. For example, so your capacity is say 30 units. Your manufacturing capacity is 30 units. Suddenly you get an order of say around 200 units. Only if you are disciplined will you be spending less and upgrading yourself. If you are not disciplined, you will actually have to spend more. to get, and then there is the chance of you losing out. Now, there is a huge scope for MSME because actually, I think 80% of the MSMEs are in the unorganized sector. So if we are able to, well, at least some of them are able to understand what we are trying to say. And it is not something which takes a lot of effort, lot of extra money, lot of, nowadays people who are supporting MSMEs have very innovative plans financially and even otherwise. So it is not heavy on the budget, yet you are in compliance and you are ready for the next level.
Wonderful. I think, in fact, that was coming to my mind. What is the repercussion of no discipline in the points? What you already answered that. In fact, that was my question, and that's fantastic. And Mr. Das, you can just share one case study or one example which you already dealt, which was in a it's very challenging, and you sorted it out, and the things really helped. Some brief about it. You don't have to name any company, but at least one case study if you can just share.
Yes, sure. So there was this girl who, who was living with her widowed mother, and they stay in a small flat in Delhi. But this girl has a knack of doing crochet work. Now she was doing it as a hobby, just to time pass. So now there is obviously, with today's rising prices and everything, and there we all need a little bit of comfort level. All our comfort levels, everybody around us, the comfort levels, things which we used to think is something very huge or luxury earlier, is now become normal. So she also thought, I need these new things. How do I go about it? And it so happens through a common friend we came to know each other, and then I told her, look, you do so, such a good crochet work. Why don't you utilize this skill set of yours? And so we sat down, and so crochet work, if you remember, earlier the houses used to have crochet work over tables, over dining table, kitchen table, TV sets, they were always two-dimensional. So we figured out that, and this girl, the credit goes to this girl, she came up with this unique concept of having crochet work done for three-dimensional. And now she's working in three different sectors. One is your dolls, or their caricature works. She's made this Harry Potter Dobby. She made these cartoon characters. The reason for going for cartoon characters was that the children get more attracted, and it's also eco-friendly because it's crochet work.
Yeah.
The second sector is dress material. She side dresses or tops of crochet, which is again fashionable. And the third is utility items. She makes these mittens, she makes these chappals, and those chappals you can wear it in your, within your house, you can wear it. So that's the third sector. And interestingly, not only are her products selling across India, but people from US also, buy her products. So we managed to send some of the products to US, and they sold off like hotcakes.
Okay.
And it was sent as, fine, let's see. Small samples. We said around 30, two batches, 3 batches sample. They just vanished. They got bought up like anything. So, if you're looking at the struggle part,
contribution for this initiative, how did you really help them?
So forming of company, molding of the ideas. We've formed her company now. It's a private limited company. It's a registered company. Her documentation is in order. So it is not just a hobby, but now it has become her profession. And now she's the director of the company.
Okay.
That
I
and
understand.
when
Yeah.
she's talking or giving her card, she's giving her card of director of company. And you see that change in their face, in their, the way they deal with people, the way they smile. It makes a difference.
Okay. Okay. Got that. Wonderful. And now I have another one or two another questions just to conclude this. Now, what will be your message to MSME owner so that they can really think seriously about it?
My message to MSME owners would be work smartly. You have you people are unique. Unique. You have the guts and to take a risk and you're going about it. And so that pride feeling of that you need that thought process of I want things to go like this. This is my baby. I want this to be like this. All that I understand, but you also need to be disciplined, and you need to most importantly work smart. Work change with the time. You don't need to change completely, but you need to adapt to the time to be able to continue with your business more and earn more profit and expand. So,
Okay.
and how do you work smartly? You go in with GRC cover. Set up your governance center. We are there to help you. We'll tell you how your risk can be managed. We'll tell you how to go about with your compliances. In fact, we'll support you in that. So ideally, that's what I want to tell them. It is not something which is alien. Jugaad is something which most people do, but Jugaad in the law, I mean, like it's so assuming the officer changes,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
that's a hit to you.
Okay. Okay. So to say, like you can say this GRC is going to be a serious foundation for any industry or any organization to grow in a grow or scale in further so that they will not face any consequences in the later stage. The way we are today, we are seeing this Byju's example, right? It's the best example
Absolutely.
what we see. Now, if you want to elaborate on this.
No, absolutely agree. So the other thing which I would like to add into is that there's been a substantive amount of emphasis on the valuation part of it. The moment nowadays startups happen there, the thing is, let's go in for valuation. What is the value of my company? And they want to increase that value, try and increase the value without thinking, I'm old school, but I realize many of the old school principles are really good and they work no matter what the type. So if you don't have a good basis of whatever you're working on, whatever type of business you're working on, your basis should be right. Then it is bound to fall sometimes or the other. Byju's, you have quoted as the right example. The presently running concern. So instead of just the valuation part of things, and we are all smart people, we understand how things work. Instead of valuation, I say, why not emphasize on value creation? So instead of going in just for the financial part of it, if you are creating good values, it has more substantial and it will stand for a longer time, which enables you to get more profit and make a name for yourself. See, the idea is, so money comes and goes. I understand money is a very important part of life. Money is not bad. Money is good. The love of money is bad. We all have heard this, and we are all mature people. We understand this.
Yeah.
What is the name which you are trying to put for yourself? You are employing, 10 people today. Tomorrow you will be employing 250 people, then 500 people. There, home is running because of you. That gives it the empathy. So why do you want to do something? So which is increasing your name, your fame, something which you are giving back to the society, and you are building value, and you are earning. So that's happiness all around.
Yeah, yeah, wonderful. I think well said. Instead of focusing on the valuation, focused on the value-based, progress. I think that's going to go a long way. I think that's a perfect statement what you said. Yeah, wonderful. And is it the same for startup also, or is it different from MSME or startup also? It's GRC it differs or it's the same?
See, the basic principle is same across.
Okay.
Yes, the requirement and the value. So for a startup, because of number of how do I so number of the requirement for startup not being so heavy handed, and because there are a lot of exemptions which are given to the startup, the requirement may not be that heavy for startup, which is obvious, which is required also, because it's like a baby. You can't put this, discipline and rules regulation on a baby. You will have to let the baby grow. So
Yeah.
once, but if you have matured a little, like walking straight, earning a bit of profit, then the requirements become a little heavier.
Okay.
That's the statutory requirement,
Okay.
and we handhold across for a startup as well as the whole complete journey.
Okay. Okay. So in case any startup that comes in, I think you will be able to help them also, right? In this context.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Got that. Got that. Because MSME anyway, it's very clear in this conversation. So I just wanted to have explicit this question to understand whether the startup can also take the advantage of your wisdom so that they can really form a good foundation for themselves.
In fact, what my understanding would be, we also do sessions and seminars, uh, across India wherever it's possible, and wherever we are able to reach out to people. The basic requirement for any startup is that if you are, uh, so number one is that you need the right guidance, which happens for individual in their careers. Same is the case with startups and MSME. In fact, in my friend circle, the joke is that, look, nowadays even political parties have consultants. You know,
Yeah.
when I was in school, that was not something which we would have thought of.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, political parties also have consultants who do analysis, who tell them, who handhold them. And you are a business, you are creating jobs. You are the bloodline of the nation,
Yeah.
right? And look at it this way: every big business has a array of consultants who help them out. So why not these small babies, the MSME, which is a substantive part? Any nation
True.
building, the MSME is a crucial part, which is exactly the reason why government is paying attention so much to MSMEs.
Absolutely.
So we are there to help these MSMEs, you know. So they can think that, अरे अभी तो रुपया चला जाएगा मेरा, बाबू तुम्हारा अभी रुपया जा रहा है, अभी रुपया नहीं जाएगा। अगर तुम 25 पैसा का रोज डालोगे तो तुम्हारा वो जो 100 टके का होना था वो 1000 टका हो जाएगा।
Yeah, and we all know that MSME being a backbone of India's economy, and they are the greatest contributor for the GDP. And it's a question of only thing. These are the basic things which they can take care, so that the scaling is very very much easier, and at the same time safe way they can grow.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, and as you already mentioned, because seminars and webinars in the context of this call, what we are having is now to give them the perspective so that you can actually definitely take a deeper dive into this by another webinar. Probably let them understand key what all things in store for them so that they can take care. So probably we will arrange another webinar exclusively for this, so that people can take the advantage of this knowledge, and that at the same time they can take the services so that they can build a strong foundation for themselves. In case anybody who is serious about building their organization in a greater scale, I think this GRC or the foundation of this, whatever we are discussing, is going to be very, very crucial, I believe. Right?
Absolutely, would be happy to be part of that. In
Yeah.
fact, I just want to put in one last note
Yeah.
that when they are taking the, uh, your organization, our organization, I'm like, what we are trying to do, I think, is support the startups and the MSME in a manner wherein they're actually saving costs. If they were to hire you as a on a whole time basis, their budget would go in one shot,
True. True.
right? So
True.
what you are doing is you are being humble and you say that, look, I'll be happy to help you out. I will not charge my complete fee, but let's keep each other smiling.
Yeah.
So you are also happy that you're able to give back to the society, try in its building, and they also benefit from your expertise
Yeah.
because the 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 experience which you get is not available in any book.
Okay, 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 wonderful. I think see now MSME owners normally even I am interacting with MSME owners very extensively. Now the kind of a mindset which I normally get that okay now first next what the moment you offer your service they get to ask you what is the cost instead of asking
Yes,
what is the value you are giving. Instead of that they are asking what is the cost of it. So yeah, I think that's the mindset what they have. Now, I think they should have an entry barrier when it comes to GRC offerings. Let's say there is a small service which they can start with. They let them experience it so that they can go to the next level. Is there any possibility like that they can take advantage of your offerings?
so the way we do it is we have a subscribe and pay as you use. A small token amount is there for subscription, and then as they keep using, because we have 100 odd services which we would be happy to offer.
Okay,
But all of them would not be required or may not be required for a particular institution. So
absolutely.
whatever service they pick, from that bouquet of services. So what we do is we will only charge at a nominal rate for the service. We also take into consideration that if it is a startup, initially they are all they all have budget constraints. So what we do is we tell them that let's build a relationship. You know, I consider me as your friend who is there with you throughout this journey of yours, and we will both grow as time progresses. Let your business grow, because if your business is growing, I'm also getting business.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think as if I understand you correctly, you say because there are hundreds of services that needs to be incorporated in the organization. But to start with, once you do some kind of analysis or once the interaction happens, probably you will identify at least 2 to 3 things which they should be implementing so that they can start from the beginning. That's how it is, right?
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well said. Okay, so I think this conversation definitely would have really given some very great perspective to the listeners of this short discussion, and definitely we will set up another webinar wherein serious people literally can come and take the advantage of it, and we are always there to help them. Okay, so
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's about it, and so over to you. I think. In case whoever is listening to this small conversation, so if you really want to get in touch with us, so probably in this under the below video or something, we would have given you the contact details. You can reach us, and at the same time, we are conducting some webinars. Which are very specific to MSME, so that various topics, and this is also one of the topic which we are covering, and definitely this we want even in fact digitalize as a holistic solution as I mentioned. So we want the MSME people should take the advantage of it, and looking forward to meet you, and Mr. Das will have a detailed a PPT presentation for you, so I think you should know about it so that you can take that concrete decision for yourself when it comes to growing your business without any hiccups in the later stage, rather than face some hiccups at the beginning, so that in the later stage you don't have to face any bigger consequences of any that anything that happens in a negative way, right? So having said that, Mr. Ashish Das ji, I think thank you very much, and I think it's a definitely very valuable information which we know you've shared, and looking forward, and let's conduct another webinar for our audience of MSME folks, so that they can take the advantage of it.
Thank you so much.
So thank you very much. Okay, yeah. So, okay, friends, you heard about this small intro, right? So in case if you are interested, now what I want to say here is, so I'm just giving you the WhatsApp group link. So you can just click the link and you can join the group. And we are, communicating the date and timeline when it comes to the webinar, right? So detailed webinar related to GRC, so that you are updated and you are reminded for this, so that you don't have to miss this very important topic called as GRC. Okay, and just click the link below and join the group, and I'll be in touch with you consistently when it comes to the reminders. Thank you.